Getting your first attorney client as a legal nurse consultant can be the most critical step in building a successful consulting business. Without that first client, it is challenging to gain credibility and start generating the momentum you need to grow. But landing that first client isn't just about luck. It's about strategy, preparation, and positioning yourself as the go-to expert attorneys can trust. So miss this video, and you might struggle to ever get your consulting business off the ground. So I recently received a message from another nurse who told me that she took some serious steps this year to get her legal nurse consulting business off the ground, and she's asking for advice on what she can do to get her first client and wanted to know what I had done to get my first assignment. If you think that you are going to get some secret sauce, special magic answers in this video, I'm going to say you're maybe right and you may be wrong. It's more about timing in this business than anything else. Most of us have this false sense of control when we start doing this business. And I think that might be some of our type A personalities as nurses. So there are only so many things we actually have control over. So when it comes to the things we can do, we can't convince anybody to decide to work with our business. We can't force them to take us as a client or to allow them to be our client. But what we can do is we can spend our time showing folks what we can do in the form of education. As nurses, we educate all the time. So it's just educating in a different way. We don't have control over when we get our client. What we have control over is how consistent we are with marketing and not quitting. This is it. And it's a not so secret. You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent with your marketing and getting your message out there and getting your name out there. But you cannot quit. If you're going to go down this road, you need to commit to it. If you don't commit, chances are very, very unlikely that you're going to see success. Just because you're open for business as a legal nurse does not mean you're going to get flooded with clients. It takes time. Okay. So the two things you're going to need to work on is your marketing. Your marketing is going to be huge. Everything you're doing today, you should be seeing positive results from that 3 to 4 months down the road. Okay. This is why it is so important to market and to keep marketing and keep marketing and keep marketing and don't stop. Now you might be wondering what I mean when I say market. Okay. It's just anything and everything that you can do to get your name out there, out into the universe, out into your community, in your neighborhoods, right? If people don't know who you are, they can't send business your way. So first thing I recommend is get social media accounts for your business. You're going to definitely want to be on Facebook. You're going to want to be on Instagram. I think TikTok is a great one to get on. I don't have a real presence on TikTok right now with my business. And of course, LinkedIn. These are all great. But I would tell you that it's better to get really good at one of those platforms instead of just putting random posts into all of them. All of them have an algorithm that works completely different than the rest. So I would say choose which platform you want to get really good at and then start learning. Start learning that platform really, really well and focus your attention there first. Now, anything you do on one platform, if you have multiple social media accounts, do the same thing on each one. So if you decide you want to do LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook, you can put the same posts on all of those, but just know the algorithms work differently for each. So get really good at one before you start moving on to another one. But you need to start making your posts. Start with once a week. After you're getting good at once a week, move to twice a week. Then move to 3 times a week, then 4 times a week. If you're really, really, really gonna like commit and wanna move things faster, try to get a post out once a day. Once a day, get something out there. But the more you post, the more exposure you're creating for your business. So just know you need social media and you need to start using it. There are some products that can help you with that when it comes to creating and scheduling and things like that. But I use Canva. There's, I'm sure, many others, but that's what I use. That's what I learned. That's what I got good with. I would recommend you finding one to work for yourself, but I use Canva. So you could check that out, but I'm sure there's others. Check those out too. On top of your social media presence, you should be looking up attorney clients and finding folks to contact. I would say emailing attorneys is not a bad option. I did that myself, reaching out to them and kind of touching base with them every so often. But honestly, it's better to make a phone call. It's going to be much better to make that phone call than to flood their inbox with emails. Attorneys are very busy. You're going to get to a point where you're very busy as well. And emails are just they're not as easy to focus on and respond to. It's almost like they just get lost in the mix. Attorneys get lots of emails and they're bombarded, I'm sure. And not only with emails related to their cases, probably with other nurses and other folks who are trying to get their business as well, in one aspect or another. So if it's between making calls and emails, try making those phone calls first. Try that first, try that route. They might actually appreciate it because not a lot of folks go that route. Another option you can do is actually make a trip. If this attorney is in your area and it's drivable and you can go and see them, go see them. Go to their office. People are not really doing that. You could go and you could leave them with your card. You can bring like a little mini snack packet or a little something. Make it very friendly. Don't make it super formal. You could just go in and say, oh, hey. So if it were me, I could just say, oh, hey, my name's Amy. I work with, Pacific Nurse Consulting, and our business is newer into the community. And so I just kind of wanted to introduce myself as we work in the same industry. And, if there's a possibility that, we could work together one day, that'd be amazing. But I really just wanted to get out and get to know you. And if you have any needs of any kind along the lines of X, and you're going to talk about what you do consulting, I'd love to be a resource for you. So your focus really needs to be more on networking and not on sales. Don't get salesy. I'm going to tell you that's probably the biggest mistake, is that people get salesy, because obviously we want to make sales. We want to get clients. We want to make revenue, but you can't take people out of the equation, and you have to come at this from, I'm here to do good, right? Deep down, we are all nurses and our passion was for helping people, right? So we're still doing that, just in a completely different way. Well, not completely different, but a different way. So when you're talking with attorneys, or even if you're talking with other legal nurses, the goal should be to make connections and to network and create professional relationships. 100%, that is always your focus. That is always your goal, not sales. The way you get clients is through relationships. You have to network before you can make the sale, right? Otherwise, they're going to avoid you like the plague because you're just trying to make money. That's the image they are going to get when they hear your name or see your face or hear your voice. You don't want to create that negative association. Just keep it very real. So what do we have here? We have doing your social media accounts. We have doing phone calls. We have emails. We have making trips down, like day trips, go and see some offices. And I highly recommend that if you're planning to go and see offices and try to speak to attorneys, don't just plan to do one. Scope out all of the attorneys in that area that are appropriate for your business and with Legal Nurse Consulting, and hit them all. Hit as many as you can. Make a day of it. The goal is making connections. The goal is networking. And then after you have visited, you can send those follow-up emails. Reiterate your meeting from the day before. If you went and visited and you didn't get to talk to them, don't wait till the next day. Do it same day. Do it later that same day. And you're going to check in every so often with them because you want to stay top of mind. If they're not ready to potentially use you for some services at this time, then you're just planting the seed. You're just going to keep the relationship going. Keep checking in with them. Let them know you're around if they need anything. You could even offer to take some of them to lunch. They got to eat, and I'm sure they wouldn't mind a free meal. When the need does happen, the time does come where they need your assistance and they need something from you, guess what? They're going to reach out. So if it's like, oh man, I wish I had a medical person who could assist me with this question or this issue that I'm having. Well, guess what? If you continue to check in, you're going to be top of mind, and they're going to say, oh wait, there was that one nurse who stopped by, or that one nurse who called, or that one nurse who keeps offering to take me to lunch. right? I could contact that person. Just know some people are not a good fit. Some people are a great fit. Don't try to force anything. When you try to force relationships and force business, you're going to get stressed. And I think the last thing I would probably recommend is looking into legal events or conventions, meetings, summits. Sometimes there's holiday parties or there's just gatherings and get-togethers. The great thing about this and what really works to your advantage is you're in neutral territory. It's also a very informal setting. Usually when you go to a summit or a convention or something like that, you're there with a different purpose. You're there to network. You're there to learn new things. And so I think it's the perfect opportunity really to just get to know people, right? Don't get salesy. Don't be so business focused that you're trying to force business and have all these conversations about all the services you can offer and the ways you can help them. You know how you can help them in general, but you are not going to know what kind of value you can specifically bring to an attorney unless you get to know them. What one attorney needs is not the same as what another attorney needs. This is why the relationship is so important. You're creating trust, you're building credibility, they're learning about your knowledge base, they're learning about what you can do, but when you get to know them better, you're also going to understand where their struggles are or where their challenges are just through general conversation. And you're going to start using your critical thinking skills as a nurse to know, how can I meet this need? This is what they're struggling with. What can I do to assist them? You're not pigeonholed into anything. As a consultant, that literally means you have the freedom to offer any kind of service that you're qualified to offer, right? To meet their needs. You're not pigeonholed into anything. You don't just have to do record review. Record review for personal injury, record review for medical malpractice. And I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. This is what I offer you. No, it depends on what the client's needs. You could be doing record review for personal injury, but maybe they just want chronologies from you. They don't want you to educate or do other stuff. They don't need that. Just do the chronology. That's all I need. There may be other folks that say, I'm a med mal attorney and I don't need you to do chronology. I don't need you to do a full-on report to summarize all my facts in my case. What I need your help with is I need help creating I need help creating deposition questions for this medical provider that I need to depose, right? So you need to find out what their need is so you can determine how you can fill that need. So don't tell them what you'll do for them. If you nurture the relationship and you get to know them well, they will end up sharing with you what their struggles are, their challenges, their needs. Then it makes things very easy for you. Yes, this does take time. Absolutely. It takes time. But if you're taking this seriously, this business seriously, your business seriously, and you want it to grow and you want it to survive, not just survive, but thrive, then you need to be willing to put in the time. All these things that I'm telling you that you should be doing, these are all things that I did. And I would say it took about 18 months after I started my business before I really had my breakthrough client and getting work and things like that. Because again, it takes time. You can't control when an attorney decides that they need help. You don't know what their experience are. You don't know what their cases are. You don't know what their needs are right up front. You don't know these things. You will learn these things over time. What we can control is one, being consistent. Bring your business up whenever you can, whether you're talking to people when you're out and about, doing your social media, make phone calls, do emails, take trips and make visits to attorneys' offices. Look up events that are in your area and buy tickets to different things. And while you're there, ask other people questions. What's your name? Oh, what do you do? Guess what? When they start talking about themselves, it's kind of just second nature. They're going to ask what you do. And then you're open to do so. Doing all of these things consistently is really going to help get your name out there. The second thing is you cannot quit. So many of us nurses quit before anything even becomes viable. It takes time to get your name out there. And once your name is getting out there and you start getting a case and then 2 cases and 3 cases, you also have to do a good job on your cases. You have to make sure you're listening and you give them exactly what they've asked for, because if you pull through for them and they can rely on you and they can depend on you, they're going to give you follow-up work. And even if they don't give you a bunch of follow-up work, I guarantee you they're going to be talking about you to other folks that they know, other attorneys. And they're going to start helping you with your marketing by word of mouth. Getting that first client and that first case is a huge milestone. And when you get it, celebrate that, because you've earned it. You've put in the time and the work. But most folks quit before it ever happens because we are such an impatient breed. As nurses, we want to see results, right? We work hard, we move quick, we get it done, and we want to see results. Well, the medical industry and the legal industry are not the same. They are not the same, okay? In the medical world, things move very quickly, very quickly. We have to be on our toes. We're thinking things through, and we're making things happen. In the legal industry, things don't move that quickly. Things move at a slower pace, and that's okay. There are no real legal emergencies. Be patient, okay? There is no perfect journey. There is no perfect path. Anybody who tells you it has to go this way are lying to you. Nobody's path looks the same. Some folks are going to move very quickly. Some folks are going to move slower. And some people are going to be able to quit their regular jobs and do this full time before others. And that's okay. So I want to finish out this video by leaving you with a piece of advice. Number 1, I've already said this multiple times, remain consistent with your marketing. Number 2, do not quit. But now I'm going to throw out a number 3, which is do not compare yourself to others. Your journey is yours, and nobody has the same knowledge as you. Nobody has the same experience that you have. Nobody has the same obligations and financial needs that you have. So to compare yourself to others is insane. All you're going to do is create a sense of competition, a sense of inadequacy, and these are the little seeds that lead us to quitting because we feel like we're not doing as good as somebody else is doing. Do not compare yourself to anybody else.